Welcome back to Denver, Colorado at the DAC opening drive here. Dave Fink getting that point. It's the men's round of 8. Fink versus Andy Nett. Dave Fink, formerly from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, now living in Tucson, Arizona. And Andy Nett from Winona, Minnesota. And Dave Fink looks like he's on fire right now. Last weekend, he played Andy Nett at the NYAC at the New York Invitational, and he did not feel very comfortable with his game versus Andy's, although Dave Fink did win that in a close tiebreaker. He felt that Andy Nett was about as good as he's ever seen him play. So he was fearing Andy Nett coming into this match. But right now it's all Dave Fink. Our referee is Shorty Ruiz. We appreciate the fact that you've tuned into this live broadcast. We have literally hundreds of people watching this feed right now on the big screen TV and courtside. That's why you can see a TV in the background. Score here is 2-4. Andy Nett has 2, wearing the red shirt. That's a great serve of his. Dave Fink is left-handed, so he has to use his offhand to get that amazing serve from Andy back. Wow. And that's why it's so difficult to play Dave Fink. He'll take that shoulder-high drive shot, overhand kill, and he'll do it either into the right corner or the left. That's a late call right there.
Second serve.
It was a late call, but the right one. And that's really unfortunate for Andy, who thought he got an ace serve.
4-2.
Dave Fink's going to have to probably think about changing his serve here if Andy's going to have that strong left for this game.
Second serve.
Wow. A lot of hook on that ball from Fink, who takes that underhand left natural, throws it right into the feet of the big Andy Nett. 4 serves 2. This is the WPH Race for 8. Season 2, Stop 5, Denver, Colorado, where we will officially announce that we will be coming back next year. Coming up during the finals when we talk about our involvement and theirs. And there's another side out. This is a 1-game match to 25.
2-4.
You're going to see both of these players hitting balls hard down that left wall. That's just what they do.
4-2.
Dave Fink hasn't had success with that serve yet with Andy. Let's see if he can get something going.
Point.
This is the race for 8. That stands for the race in points.
5-2.
And the 8 stands for the 8 players that will be announced into an elite tournament in Seattle, Washington, called the Players' Championship. That'll be over Cinco de Mayo weekend in May in Seattle. You might want to book your tickets to that. You get to see these players play multiple matches. Plus the Senior Pro Tour guys will be announced. It'll all be broadcast live, and the place is rocking up at the Washington Athletic Club. Contact us at weplayhandball@cs.com. That's weplayhandball@c as in cat, s as in sam.com
7-2.
to get event information. There's a hotel right at the facility, so you can check into your hotel room and watch the matches over the closed caption
2-7.
TV from the luxury of your room, or maybe you could just come down to the courts and watch. The pros play with the fans and the sponsors in a special Pro-Am doubles. There's lessons, clinics. It's all part of Seattle.
Point.
Andy Nett here
4-7.
serving at 4-7. Scoreboard says 8.
Side out.
Well, you kind of feel for Andy there. He wanted to make a better shot than one between the legs, so he decided to let it go to the back wall, and, well, frankly, he couldn't get there in time.
Point.
And there's another point for Dave Fink. Earlier, we saw on a side court Luis Moreno and Sean Linning, two of the best players on tour and in the rankings and in the United States and in the world, for that matter, on the court playing two-bounce big ball with some of the locals here. And that's really what those guys want. They want to
9-4.
be on the court with their heroes. It was a nice sight to see that. We also have a junior clinic tomorrow at 1 o'clock here at the DAC, Denver Athletic Club.
Side out. 4-9.
This is a nice show court, but back corner on the left is really dark. I mean, I understand why Andy's hitting
Side out.
balls to Dave's right, because Dave is left-handed, but I believe if you pepper balls down that left wall into that black hole, you might have the same type of advantage.
Point.
Dave Fink powers that ball with the right hand. This is a one-game match to 25. You win by 2. Fink is up 10-4. There's a timeout called from Andy Nett. You're watching the Race for 8 at racefor8.com. So back to the Players' Championship. 8 players will be invited to Seattle, Washington. At the beginning of the season, nobody has race points. We just seed tournaments off of the rankings.
You remember?
But then after the few stops go by, you start to see how the list builds and who is positioning themselves to be major players later in the season. And just those that have received points for just the race events
20 seconds.
will be invited to Seattle that are in the top 8. Also, the top 4 senior players will play in a round robin that will be filmed. Right now, those senior players include John Bike, John Robles, Tyler Hamill, Nadi Alvarado Jr., Dan Armijo. So we can see names like that in Seattle, Washington.
I'll charge him another timeout. 10-4.
Andy Nett took an extended timeout here, and they're talking about charging him with another timeout, but according to my stopwatch, we're only at 55 seconds. That's a little harassing, don't you think? That'll be a big setup for Andy off the back wall. He goes down low. Dave has to pop it back to the middle of the court. That's a beautiful left kill shot right there from Dave Fink. Now you're going to see the game of Dave Fink improve,
11-4.
and it's already elite, but he's going to be sparring with Luis Moreno. in Tucson, Arizona, as Dave now resides there. But Luis said to me, I'm not going to play him. No, that's not what he said.
4-11.
4 serves 11. Now you're going to see some interesting matches in Tucson because Dave's so competitive and Luis likes to play 20 games a day. Dave Fink actually went to college at the University of Arizona, as did Luis Moreno. Now they're going to be sparring partners. A lot of the top players moved to Tucson so they can play competitive handball, believe it or not. I know Sean Linning lived there for about 3 years recently. Now he's back in Washington.
Short. Second serve. Point.
So Andy Nett calls that timeout, comes in and
6-11.
got 2 straight points at 6-11 here.
Second serve. Set out.
See what Dave Fink does.
11-6.
Nice shot right there from Fink. Referee gives him the point. And now we're at 12-6.
12-6.
There's a halftime at 15, which is an automatic 3-minute TV timeout. That's called one of those reverse walk-offs right there. That's a reverse walk-off. And a timeout called from Dave Fink. You're watching the Race for 8 live here in Denver, Colorado. Dave Fink knew that Andy was going to put that ball away. He just walked off the court, called a timeout at the last second. You're watching the Race for 8 here live. Denver Athletic Club, unbelievable sight here. Right now you're just seeing the lower level where there's a big screen TV and some of the fans. Upper level has a lot of players packed in as well. Down low, you're seeing really more of the pavilion where the players enter the facility, the VIP area. This is a huge complex in Denver. Now you see that they've just discovered that they're on TV, broadcast live over multiple countries over the internet. On a beautiful Friday, but it's not going to be beautiful for long, I guess. There will be 2 feet of snow later tonight.
6-11. 6 what? I mean 12, my bad. Sorry. 6-12.
It must either been a bad bounce there for Andy. He had that tracked down and then the ball just went over the top of his hand.
Point.
Big congratulations out to Alan and Erica Garner for giving birth to their 7-pound baby today. Alan Garner may be in Salt Lake City as one of the invites, and also maybe in Seattle, depending on how that goes with his newborn. Baby's name, I heard, is Erica, named after baby's mom. And they're calling halftime here, and Dave's asking for a towel. And Dave is telling the referee that he doesn't want this time of him cleaning up on the floor to go against his time in between games. But very easily could a maintenance worker go in there and do that work. But anyway, nonetheless, Dave Fink is in the lead here at 15-7. At halftime, we're going to take a 3-minute break. We'll be back in just a bit. Stay here at racefor8.com.
My name is Bruce Fabrizio. In 1975, I invented Simple Green based on 3 principles. It had to be safer to use, it had to work, and it had to be completely made in America. From generation to generation, Simple Green has been cleaning everything from car engines and tools to kitchen counters and floors. No matter what you clean, indoors or outdoors, clean it with non-toxic, biodegradable Simple Green.
Offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
It's Timothy Green's first day at school.
What's in there? He's about to fall
anything he might need. There's a box of tissues on the bottom and some Band-Aids. There's a whole first aid kit, actually.
Mom, I can handle it from here.
You don't have to be perfect
Have a great day.
That's too much pressure.
Have the day you have.
to be a perfect parent.
There are 2 people in the world who want you more than anything. They'll make some mistakes, but they will love you more than you can ever imagine.
There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Hold on, you still got a minute. Gotta wait for Dave. All right, guys. They're about ready. Answering. 6:15.
That was a long rally that ends with Andy Nett pushing it into the ground with his underhand paddle shot.
15-6.
Dave Fink leading 15-6 here. And that's just a beautiful serve. Andy Nett has been handling that
16-6.
serve from Fink pretty well. And that's the last thing Fink wants Andy to do, is to turn around and take that ball around the corner like that. We're going to 25.
Point. 7-16.
Dave wanted to hinder early on there, about 3 shots back, but then he kills it in the corner, and it's no more hinder time.
16-7.
This is the race for 8. That was a short ball. Good call. Dave Fink plays on the Seattle WAC team. I believe Andy Nett's a gunslinger.
17-7.
Is he an Idaho Spud? Yep.
Let out.
Luis Moreno, his world champion doubles partner and national champion doubles partner, looked at me and said, no, he's a Spud. It was almost like I insulted Luis Moreno by saying that he was a gunslinger from Tucson. Now the gunslingers are insulted because Luis is from Tucson. I digress. Here we're playing on all cement walls and we haven't broke a ball yet.
18-8.
That was a miss hit from Andy. Dave Fink puts it away. Now 19-8.
19-8.
It's just an impossible serve to get back. Dave's putting a little natural hook on that. It clips that left wall, and that hook absorbs that left and slides the back wall. Now see Andy step in. And if it's not something you're comfortable doing, that's what happens the first couple times. You have to have perfect timing.
21-8.
It's so difficult to play Dave Fink because he goes for offensive shots pretty much every single time he hits the ball. And here's going to be another one. See how a lot of other players will try to do a pass shot or a two-wall pass. Dave goes for the actual put-away kill. And that's a flat roll with the right hand.
24 plays 8.
And Dave goes for it again, gets it at 25-8, takes down Andy Nett, and you can see that he dominated Andy there, putting his hands together, congratulating himself. Taking a page out of the Emmett Pachote book. Look at him, he's still celebrating downstairs. If he could reach back there and pat his own back, he would be doing it right now. Dave Fink takes down Andy Nett with an unbelievable display of handball. Andy could not get out of this facility any quicker. Dave Fink is half smiling right here, played good ball, and now we have more handball action coming up right around the corner, but maintaining the broadcast schedule. 3 o'clock will be the next match. That's 3 o'clock Mountain Time when Alan Garner's brother Aaron goes up against Luis Moreno. You stick around. More handball action right around the corner at racefor8.com. Stick with us.
For 20 years, the Inner City Handball Association has educated, mentored, and served young people through handball. Young people that participate in the Inner City Handball Association programs have a high graduation rate from high school and continue on to college. Inner City Handball teams are good athletes, good students, and good ambassadors for the sport of handball. We need your help to continue our work. Inner City Handball Association is a registered 501c3 tax-exempt charity. Please donate today. Thank you.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Zions, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
Hello, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. Our non-toxic, biodegradable, all-purpose cleaner works great for cleaning it. Thank you. Non-toxic, biodegradable, Simple Green. It's great for cleaning.